And with that renewed American strength, this president has made it clear that America will stand with our allies and stand up to our enemies. In Afghanistan, as we speak, our Commander-in-Chief has committed our armed forces to remain engaged in the fight against the Taliban and other terrorist groups in the region until we eliminate that threat to our homeland and our people once and for all. President Trump, just a few short days ago, put Iran on notice when he announced that our administration will no longer certify the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, and we will no longer tolerate Tehran's support of global terrorism. And today, thanks to the courage of our armed forces and the resolve of our Commander-in-Chief, in Syria and Iraq, ISIS is on the run. 3 years ago, those barbarians celebrated in the streets of their self-declared capital of Raqqa, where they proclaimed the start of a 1,000-year caliphate and raised their black flags across the region as they began to perpetrate their unspeakable violence on innocent civilians. But thanks to the armed forces of the United States of America, those black flags don't fly in Raqqa anymore. Just last week, American and allied forces liberated Raqqa, and many of you were a part of that historic victory. America is defeating ISIS because the brave men and women of Minot took the fight to ISIS in the air and on the ground, and I came to say thanks to the team here at Minot for a job well done. The B-52s of the 5th Wing were responsible for over 700 danger-close strikes to support our coalition for freedom in the region. And I know all of you know you couldn't have achieved those missions without the skill and hard work of your maintainers who kept those jets in the air day after day without interruption. So let me take a moment to thank all of you who just returned from that desert mission, the crews and the maintainers, their families, and your loved ones who quietly bore the burden here at home. Thanks to your bravery across Syria and Iraq, the caliphate is crumbling, and we will not rest, we will not relent until we hunt down and completely destroy ISIS at its source. We will finish the mission that you have been so vital to advancing. In just a few days, President Trump will travel to another front line of freedom, where so many of your fellow members of the armed forces stand guard to protect our people and our allies and our way of life, the Korean Peninsula. In the face of ongoing threats and provocations by the regime in North Korea, I can assure you the United States will continue to marshal economic and diplomatic pressure to demand that North Korea abandon its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. While President Trump has made clear that the United States has, in his words, great strength and patience, all options are on the table. Our enemies should never doubt the capabilities of the armed forces of the United States of America. Anyone who would threaten our nation should know that America always seeks peace. But if we are forced to defend ourselves or our allies, we will do so with military power that is effective and overwhelming. And those gathered here at Minot Air Force Base will play a critical role again. Now more than ever, your Commander-in-Chief is depending on you to be ready. Stay sharp, mind your mission and your airmen, and be that credible deterrent that has assured the security of the American people for generations. The brave men and women of Minot Air Force Base may yet be called upon to be the instruments of American power. And if that day comes, we know you will be prepared. Bully. You know, it's deeply humbling for me to stand before you today, before so many heroic Americans. Because you see, while I'm the son of a combat veteran, and I'm the proud father of an aviator in the United States Marine Corps, My life didn't take me into the uniform of the United States, but I've seen you all in action. Back in the spring of 2003, I traveled with a small delegation of congressmen to visit soldiers downrange in Operation Iraqi Freedom. On our way back, I was inspired to visit the airmen stationed at RAF Fairford in England. I'll never forget the sight of seeing the last B-52 lumber down the runway and leap into the air on its way home to North Dakota. I witnessed the power and professionalism of the airmen of Minot firsthand. In America, we maintain peace through strength. And I saw that day just like I've seen today. You are America's strength. And know that President Trump and I understand that your service comes with great sacrifice, with long deployments, and with hardship. But I want to assure you today that you do not bear that burden alone. You have the gratitude of a commander-in-chief, our entire administration, and your representatives in Washington and leaders in the Congress who are standing with you and stand by you. Each and every one of you also carries with you the gratitude and the pride of every American. And as the airmen of Minot Air Force Base take to the skies, let me say in one other way, I hope you also know that you never go alone. In one other way. The old book tells us that if you rise on the wings of the dawn, if you go up to the heavens, even there his hand will guide you. His right hand will hold you fast. So as you take to the airs, as you take a stand for freedom, just know that you go. You go on the wings of grace and the grateful prayers of the American people who pray every day for God's protection as you serve and as you defend this nation and our freedom. So to the men and women of Minot Air Force Base, on behalf of your Commander-in-Chief and a grateful nation, thank you for your service. Thank you for your vigilance. May God bless you. God bless your families and your mission. And may God continue to bless the United States of America.